The goal is to rid Israel of an existential threat, the existential threat being Iranian nuclear weapons. The underlying intelligence is that Iran was making very significant efforts to achieve those weapons. Have been making significant efforts in the last weeks and months, and that there was therefore an urgency for Israel to operate. Taking care or taking out a nuclear program is a very, very complex thing to do, especially a program that is so dispersed, so hardened, with so much overlap, and that the Iranians have built for so many years with so many people. To be frank, a nuclear program like that means it's personnel before it is infrastructure. And if we're serious about it, to have a meaningful, lasting impact on the Iranian nuclear weapons program means that Israel has to work quite long and quite hard, and it means a lot of knowledge has to be deleted. I don't think that any other military shares such a workload. Definitely no military the size of the state of Israel, with a total population of 10 million, out of whom only 8 million are Jews and serve in the military, and not even all of those serve. So it's a very small population that has a small military with a tremendous workload. In this situation, Israel has to prioritize. And obviously, the biggest and the most meaningful capabilities and enablers of the Israeli military establishment are currently focused on Iran, whether it's the Air Force, Intel, Special Forces, Mossad, which is external, of course. Since Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7, the whole Iranian ring of fire around Israel has started to crumble. It's not totally done yet, but Hamas and Hezbollah are very weak compared to what they were on October the 7th, and Iran itself is, I think, the weakest that I've ever seen it, militarily and politically. So I think that, with the benefit of hindsight, Iranian strategic planners, when they were thinking about, this multi-front assault on Israel from Gaza, from Lebanon, from Syria, maybe from other places, and they, had these pipe dreams that would somehow eradicate the state of Israel, with the benefit of hindsight, may not have been such a brilliant idea. 48 hours ago, I think that if the Iranians threatened people, then the level of fear and deterrence would have been reasonably high. Today, after the very humiliating defeats that the Iranians have suffered at the hands of Mossad and Israeli Air Force and Special Forces, I'm not sure, I'm quite confident that Iranian deterrence has taken quite a significant hit, and that the countries who perhaps before were very much deterred by the Iranians probably are less so today. Having said that, I think there's room for those countries to show a little bit more stamina, bravery, and leadership, and to be able to defend their own interest. I know that many countries behind the scenes are very positive and cheering on Israel, and even sending messages of support and wishing us the best of luck against the Iranians, because it would suit their strategic goals, and they're happy that someone is standing up to the regional bully, which is Iran. Yeah, I'd say that, President Trump, he made an ultimatum. You guys, you Iranians, you have 2 months for negotiations. And President Trump, he approached negotiations, I think, very fairly and with the real intention of trying to find a deal that works for all sides. In my mind, there was a little bit too much leniency towards the Iranian tactics of delay and obfuscation. But 60 days expired. The Iranians did not conform with the president's demand, and then the Iranians found out the consequences. I believe it makes sense that there was intimate coordination between Israel and the United States at the military and at the political level, leadership level. And I think that it will become apparent that this was a pretty effective way of, as you say, instilling a false sense of security with Iranian leadership. It's still too early in the game to assess about the state of affairs in Iran, but it's clear to everybody. I mean, we're talking about an oppressive regime that oppresses the Iranian people, or most of the Iranian people, against its will, that is neglecting the needs of the Iranian people and prioritizing funding terrorism around the Middle East instead of ensuring the provision of services in Iran. Before the Israeli strike, Iran was struggling to provide electricity to most of its provinces. Many of the schools were out because there was no electricity. There was a truckers' strike that went on for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, that virtually halted the economy. And there's been continued unrest in Iran of the population expressing their frustration with the undemocratic rule of this regime, the fact that people don't have basic human rights, there's no freedom of expression, there's no freedom of assembly, and there's a strict mind control, and women are told how to dress and how not to dress, and people are told what to think and not to think, and it's just an oppressive society. So success here, there's a lot at stake for the regime. Any step that they will take in an escalatory direction, it also raises the chances of things really spiraling out of control. And then it won't be only, the specter of losing the nuclear program for the regime. It might be actually the regime at stake.